The very first time you use Charm, you should get a screen that looks very similar to this. It's got a background area here of a summary of all the inputs in the model at the moment, and you'll have a couple of dialogues. On the summary, it's sort of divided into three. The upper portion is release description inputs. In the middle here, you have grid data. I'm not going to really be talking about grid data here, but in a later video, I'll go into creating grid data, and then you just input that file at time. And the bottom is meteorological data. So the dialogues are related insofar as one dialogue is replicating the input for the release description, but instead of just a long list of lines of input, it's got tabs so that you can select more or less, well, they're gathered together in similar inputs. So things like pool size, surface, well, at any rate, they're subdivided into a more logical fashion rather than just linear. If you double-click on a line in the summary sheet, it'll bring up another dialog, and in there you can change the value of what's on there. And in this case, here's a distance or a numerical value and units value. Quite a few of those are in this same format. If you change something on this screen, it will change the corresponding entry on the dialog box. When you change something on a dialog box, if you hit OK or Apply, it will change what's on the summary sheet, but it won't just do it as a matter of course. You have to hit OK or Apply before it's updated into the summary sheet. Besides the release description data, the dialog, there's another dialog for the meteorological data. And by the way, this is using the complex terrain version of Charm, version 11. Version 9 is very similar, except it has nothing to do or no mention of grids, but it also has release description, summary portion, and a met portion, and has same dialogues with somewhat different entries. For instance, in version 11, the complex terrain version, you need to have input or the location of the release in latitude, longitude, and the flat terrain version is just using a Cartesian coordinate that you get to select. Once you've made changes on either, you can save them. For the release description, that's under the File menu, and you just do Save and Save As. And in the meteorological data, it's Met File and it's Save or Save As. Both of those menus also retain the last few input files that were used. They also allow you, for instance, this is only for the complex terrain version, that you can do extra releases. In other words, you can create a number of release description files. And then if you want to run a number of them all at one time, you can just select one of these items and pull all the ones in that you want to have included in the release, the scenario. And I think that's probably pretty much it for the simplicity of it, or just the overview of how you enter data. And as I say, next we'll do grids, or maybe we'll do a display of a plume. But that's it for now. There is one item I forgot in the first part of the video, and that is if you accidentally or on purpose close one of the dialogues, either the meteorological, for instance, if I say OK, that dialog box goes away, and same for the release description dialog. If they go away, you can bring them back under the options menu, and down near the bottom there's description dialog and met dialog, and then they come back. So if you close it with OK, cancel, then you can always bring them back.